on? Hey, how do I do this? Hey. Hey. Whoop. How do I do that?
Is your first live stream?
Yeah. Seems like it, doesn't it? Hey, people. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I know it's supposed to start at 7, but at least we are here now. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. Thank you for everyone that's joining in. I am going to change the name. I have something fun that we are going to be doing today. And I'm sure you'll be able to tell when I change the name here in a second. Alex might be joining us. I'm not sure. I texted him earlier tonight, and he said he will make it, or he'll try to make it if he can. Yeah. My girlfriend's sitting over there studying. So if you hear anything, it's because she's over there studying, talking. But yeah, finals grind. What's going on, everyone? We'll give people a little bit to get in here. It always takes about 5 or 10 minutes for it to kind of get popping in here, if that's what you want to call it, with all 15 of us on Wednesday night. But I appreciate everyone that joins in these live streams. So what we are going to be doing tonight is talking about a little bit about ice fishing. We're going to talk about a project that I'm going to be working on. And then we're going to be doing something that's I haven't done before, kind of unique, and something that I think will be fun. It'll be interesting. Hey, Ronnie, I saw your comment on my Instagram photo. I didn't respond to it yet. I appreciate it. I'm really trying to go for a little bit more of a edited look. I want to look a little bit more fine-tuned in my photos. So I hope I get to go ice fishing this weekend. We'll see. I have a party with Kylie on Saturday, and then I might go ice fishing on Sunday, depending on the ice. I heard that there's 4 inches in some places, but we'll see, I guess. What is considered safe for ice fishing? Like, if I just want to walk, if I don't take a shanty, what's considered safe? Like 6 inches? I mean, Kylie's saying I'm just going to freeze to death if I go out there on Sunday. The low is like -6, so. No, that's, oh yeah, that's without wind chill. So if it's -6 with wind chill, that's going to be like -25. With just a little body, I have a lot of fat on here to kind of hold the heat in, but even still, that's cold. 3 inches is enough. I mean, some people might disagree, but sorry, that's inappropriate. Oh. Joe, are you at Gage's match tonight? How's he doing? Does he, or how many matches do they typically do in a wrestling night? Yeah, I'm one of those guys that really likes to wait. I'm not a huge ice fisherman anyways, but but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Oh, hold on. 1 minuto. Catch. Okay. That's what I was thinking, Ronnie. Yeah. 4 inches with a shanty is kind of yeesh. But it's neither here nor there. I have some exciting news. I have some trips I think I'm going to have planned to go to Texas in either January or February. And then then I might go to Florida in March. So we'll see. Okay, now that we have 15 viewers, I was kind of waiting for 15 to be my magic number. Look at what I got in the mail today, my lucky tackle box. This is my first lucky tackle box that I've gotten on time. So we're going to be doing an unboxing video. I'm going to kind of, I haven't opened it. The seal is still shut, but I'm going to unbox this for you guys and show you guys the baits that came in the Lucky Tackle Box this month. If you guys didn't know, I am sponsored by Lucky Tackle Box. In my opinion, Lucky Tackle Box is unique because they explain how they use their baits. Travis and some of the other YouTubers go out, make videos for you guys every month to teach you how to use the baits that are in this box. My buddy Alex Rudd just did a video for them last month where he talked about one of the hooks, I think. So it's always good to be partnered up with a company that really wants to give back to you fishermen. And that's Lucky Tackle Box. Dude, I want to come see you, Alex. You got to tell me when I can come down and fish with you. No, I want to go down to Tennessee as well. Alex has some exciting things going on this weekend. I'll let him share that stuff with you guys. If you haven't yet, he's doing a live stream, or he's doing daily uploads now, which is pretty cool, at least through his winter break. So let me know what you guys think of those. I actually watched his first daily upload, and I was laughing my butt off. Oh, yeah, Lucky Tackle Box. This is also the XL box. This is the Pro box, I think, whatever it is. But they give you full packs of baits. So you get to try everything in here, and it's full packs. You get a good assortment of baits that really fit the season. So with that said, we are going to get into this box now. We are going to take a look at what's in here and open it up. I'll give you guys my reactions. And then tomorrow, what I'm going to do after I do this live stream, I'm going to shoot a quick video explaining one of the techniques in this box. And I don't know what's in here, but I'm going to pick one of the things and explain to you guys how I would fish it. And really kind of go into more detail. So with that said, let's get it open. Now, I don't have any cool tools. I'm just using a pair of scissors. But maybe next month I'll do like an unboxing with a chainsaw or something. I think I might have sent it to you, Alex. I'm not entirely sure. Do you have your box too? Kylie says, please do not open it with chainsaw. So maybe we won't do that. There you go, buddy. It should be sent to you now. How's it going, Chris? You want to hop on my live stream Sunday, I believe? I know we had talked about you hopping on, I think Sunday. Okay, here we go. Well, I'm sorry. I'm going to wait for Alex. We'll see if he has his box. He's sponsored by Lucky Tackle Box as well. To be honest with you guys, I wouldn't have been able to be part of Lucky Tackle Box if it weren't for the support of Alex and Walker Wilson. Both of those guys are the ones that kind of got me hooked up with Lucky Tackle Box. So, yeah. I'm really grateful for that because Lucky Tackle Box is an awesome company to work with. Yeah, open it with an auger. That's not too dangerous, babe. I mean, my auger is not super sharp, but yeah. So, auger, ice auger, you know?
I know what an auger is.
Oh, okay. Anyways, now here's a cool project that I'm working on. It's something that I want to learn a little bit more about and get more into. Now, I have a little bit of background experience in video editing. I knew a little bit about editing prior to doing my YouTube channel, so I had a small background. But what I've noticed is that there's so many great editors on YouTube. Oh, what's up, Alex? Hold on. Let me put my headphones on.
All right, man.
Huh? Yeah, but then you can hear them on the feedback. They'll hear them feedback, so I'm going to toss my headphones on. Okie dokie, people. So Alex, here's what we're gonna do. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Yeah, I got you.
What we'll do is we'll open our lucky tackle boxes, and then I'll grab a bait, and then we'll just kind of rotate.
I've kind of already opened mine.
Well,
But,
I
like,
just.
Oh,
I
you
just-
just opened yours too? Okay.
Yeah. So what we'll
Yeah,
do is, like I'll pill out a bait and I'll talk about it, give you my reaction, and then you can move on to the next one, and we'll just go through the baits that way.
Sounds good.
One of the biggest things, this is your golden ticket. They do a live stream every month, and you have your golden ticket for the live drawing, and you can win some awesome prizes. So if you guys don't already or not already subscribed to Lucky Tackle Box, go down in my description below, click that link, and go subscribe to Lucky Tackle Box.
You can have my code. Yeah, you can have our codes because we don't use them. So
Yeah, so
Write 'em
if my
down.
code wins, the first person to send this to Lucky Tackle Box will get my free winnings.
mine as well. So there you go, guys. All right. And then the next
And
thing was,
they also have a new program going on with where you can win $1,000. So all you have to do is tag LTB Mission, and you have to upload it to Facebook or in the hashtag LTB Mission. I'll write it down here in the comment section below, or in this comment section. LTB Mission, and you just have to send a picture of yourself with the box or one of the baits from the box, and what you'll be able to do is get entered in to win $1,000. Well, Jose, you have 2 chances then. Okay, so with that said, we're going to get into this box. We're going to start showing you guys some of the baits. I have not even looked at the baits yet. I'm not sure if Alex has or not.
yeah, I have. They're sick. We got some good stuff this month.
I'm excited. Okay, so you have your sticker. This is kind of cool. Your Just Fish It sticker. Sort of like the Nike logo, but obviously it's not. It's by www.fishingcrate.com. Interesting. And then you have your card in here where it talks to you about the baits that you got, which I don't want to look at because I want to pull the baits out and show them to you guys. So I'm just going to start with the first thing that I notice right off the top of the box. And these are Mustad weedless hooks. Mustad weedless hooks. Okay, and these are great. They're a little bit longer shank. They almost remind me of like a bait hook with a weedless shank on it. But what I could see myself using this for is drop shotting around grass, drop shotting around cover. And it's actually, wow, they're actually pretty sturdy. You have this nice weed guard here, and all you do is you click that down over where your hook is, and I can see this sticking out straight on a drop shot. This is something I talked about last week with like a Nico rig, using these longer straight shank hooks for drop shotting, because what will happen is that fish has more opportunity to grab onto that hook rather than just that small drop shot hook. Another thing I like is that weed guard. You can throw this around grass and a little bit more heavy cover without having to worry about getting hung up so bad. These are pretty sweet little hooks. They're size 4 hooks, so they're relatively small. You get 3 hooks in the pack, but I think they would work awesome on a drop shot. That is the first thing that came to mind when I saw these hooks. Now, I haven't looked at the rest of the box, so I'm not sure what baits they sent you with these hooks. My initial impression, and I hope I'm right, is that these are a drop shot style hook. So Alex, if you want to talk about the next thing you pulled out.
I pulled out this bad boy. This is a Jinko CD20. This is a deep diving crankbait, and mine come in citrus shad, which is my favorite color. And I love deep cranking, and I've actually been wanting to buy one of these and just not got around to it. I'm glad they put one in this month's box, because this time of year, it's actually one of those things where around here, you can, if you can find them deep, you can sometimes get them to eat a deep diving crankbait. But come, you know, post spawn summer, this thing right here is going to be a killer. And the one thing, I mean, first of all, the paint job's wicked. Citrus Shad is my favorite deep cranking color. It's got the chartreuse on the bottom, kind of a blue-green on the top. All the shad around me have blue on them, so the blue-green's really good. And then it's got kind of like this reflective holographic on the side, which I really like. And it's also got, I think these must be they're either Mustads or VMCs because they are super sticky and they're, they're not too heavy gauge, but they're still really strong hooks. But that thing is awesome. I'm really digging this. When I saw it in the box, I was excited about it, and it's only $10 too. So I mean, that's not very expensive for a deep diving crankbait.
Yeah. So these come with I think VMC hooks on them, and I'll tell you what this reminds me of. This reminds me a lot of one of my favorite baits from Sixth Sense, and that's the 300 DD. And what I like about, I mean, I'm just talking profile and size, right? So the thing that I like about that profile and size is you can throw this thing down to about 20 feet and really get bit. I mean, if you guys can hear this, super loud one knocker in it. And then this is a root beer shad color almost. You have like the brownish green back with the white body. This works awesome, especially around a little bit dingier water because you get that darker back with the white body. This is a great way to catch fish, especially with that big loud rattle.
And that one knocker definitely too is one thing, like where if you're throwing some other brand that has like multiple chambers with multiple rattles, you fire up a school and they quit biting, you can throw something at them like a one knocker and they'll start biting again because it's just a totally different sound. You could throw the same color or a different color. Color really doesn't matter sometimes. Sometimes it's just the sound of a bait. They'll fire a school back up. So I'm digging it.
That's a good point too.
Yeah.
And I actually talked to Janko at iCast. So these baits are all designed by Colton Jennings. He's one of the guys that I think he is actually like the founder of Janko. And he's our age, man. I mean, he's only maybe 22 years old. So for him to come out with these awesome baits like this, that's pretty sick. So
I might have to get in touch with these guys because these things are sick. I mean, the more I look at it, the more I kind of just sitting here messing with it. If this thing's fish is good, this could be a game changer because it's only $10. I mean, because I go drop, $12 on a 6XD and like $20-something on a 10XD, and I mean, you lose one and you're out some cash, dude. This thing at $10, shoo.
Well, and the other thing is, man, I mean, to me, this bait feels a little bit, I'm not knocking Strike King, but it feels real sturdy. It feels really, really promising. So.
Well, Strike King's kind of, I'm not knocking Strike King either, but I think quality control's kind of gone down a little bit over the past few years because we're used to, I could buy 5, 6 XDs and I have to tune one. Every one of them I have to tune now. So,
yep.
But I still, a 6XD, I mean, it's caught me, 6 and 10 XDs caught me so many fish I can't count, but I'm just saying. I'll dig this thing. I think it's cool. So
you froze or I froze, Alex. But yeah, these guys are from Kentucky. So they're around all those big ledge fish. This is a great way to go out and catch fish, especially when they're deep. They say to dive down to 20. I believe it. Put this on 10 or 12 pound test line. You'll get it down to 20 pretty easy. For sure.
Okay. What's the next thing, buddy?
I'm going to grab a bait that I've always wanted to get, but just, well, oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was made by someone else. It's a bait that looks very similar to what I've always wanted to get, and it's something that I've talked about a lot recently. A lot of people want to know about the Megabass Vision 110. And this isn't a Megabass, but I can promise you that it's going to catch fish. You guys hear me talk all the time about getting the Lucky Strike RC STX that looks just like the Megabass. I'm telling you what, guys, straight out of the package, this bait has the same profile. You have your same weight transfer system as a Megabass. And from what I can tell, they put quality hooks on here. Wow, yeah, those are real sticky hooks. Kylie's laughing because I dang near hooked myself, but this is a great, great looking bait. This will catch you fish all winter long. I know, Alex, by you, this is a great way to catch them this time of year, especially when
I've already tied it on.
Shallow.
I actually already tied it on my jerkbait rod. I took it. I already did the unboxing like on video. So, but anyway, but yeah, I got this thing out and already tied it on. The hooks are interesting. They're like the I think these are the same hooks that Duo Realis uses because they're that like EWG round bend hybrid, and they're stupid sticky, just like those hooks. And it's like Tedeschi or Tadashi hooks is what they are. But you're right, it looks just like a Mega Bass. And I put it in the pool and popped it a couple times, man. And I mean, it does right. I mean, it ain't like it don't shoot up to the top. I mean, it goes down and darts side to side. It's good looking bait for sure.
Yeah, and this bait here, let me give you guys the name of this bait so you have it. It's called the Monster Bass Slim Jim 110. It's made by Monster Bass. And on the back, they go, I don't think they're being very being very secretive about who they're following off this bait because it's designed by Edo. And if you guys know anything about Monster or Mega Bass, all their stuff's called the Edo 110. It's called the ITO. I mean, it's all Edo design, right? And this could be a totally different guy, but I really think that they're going straight off of his designs when they make this stuff. So
I'm sure. Well, I think we've talked about it before. I think Mega Bass sold their mold, didn't they?
I really believe they did.
I mean, they have to because otherwise there'd be some lawsuits going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, this is the exact mold. I mean, this is the exact shape of a Mega Bass Vision 110, guys.
Oh yeah, so, it is. And it's not $21.
No. What does this bait retail for?
I think it's like $6.99 or something just stupid cheap like that.
Yeah, actually, it's $11.99. So for the half of the price, less than half the price of a Vision 110, you can get the Monster Bass Slim Jim 110. So very, very cool.
Killer. Probably be a good little. We'll find out this coming week. I'm sure I'll have to throw a jerkbait a little bit, so we'll see. So the next thing that I've seen these dudes. This is the power of social media. I'd never heard of these guys until I saw them on Instagram. And it's called Spool Tech, and this is a little 4-inch swim bait. It's called the Pro Series 4-inch Fatty, and I'm going to take this thing out of the box. It's got like a lead head, and the hook is molded into the lead, but then it has interchangeable tails. So I guess if you get the tail ripped off of it, you can change the tail out, but it's also got something here on the side. I'm not really sure. I guess that like releases the tail.
Dude, so no, check
it. What is
that's to reel that thing back in. So like when that fish hooks, isn't this? How's this work? Because this hook, when you set the hook on these fish, what should happen is this hook releases.
Yeah.
And it should pull away from the body. I got to figure this thing out. Hold on one second. So these have
instructions.
Conceal leader.
That's a guy move right there. Don't read the instructions.
Yeah, no. Both of us pull this thing out of the box. Don't even look at the instructions on it. So give us a half a second.
I have to say I've never got a lure with instructions before. So it says push hook into, hold on, start with deployed leader, rewind leader. Oh, so how does the leader come out?
Dude, somehow when you set the hook, this leader's supposed to come out of here.
It moves, that's for sure.
My hook's not going anywhere, man. I'm like,
mine's solid as a rock. I've never seen anything like this. Yeah, I know. I've pulled on the hook. It's not coming out.
Sorry, guys. 1 second.
I don't know. Well, here's the swim bait. It's a 4-inch little swim bait. It's got the head up here is hard, so it's a solid head. And
there it goes.
Okay, here we go. Ben will show you.
Yeah, so this hook here is attached to a big steel leader here. Now, one of the big problems with these swim baits is that when you hook a fish, they have all this leverage here in the head of this bait to throw that hook. But when you separate the hook from the swim bait, what will happen is that fish loses the leverage, and so it's a lot harder for him to throw that hook. So as long as you can get him stuck on this hook here, you should be good. And these are incredibly sharp hooks.
Yeah,
and then all you have to do, after you catch that fish, you just wind it back in. It has these little things on the side here. You just wind that bait back, or that hook back into the body.
That's
Ready to
cool.
go good.
I dig that.
Like Alex was saying, you got your changeable tail.
Now it makes sense why it's called spool tech. Kind of makes sense now. Yeah, it comes with multiple tails. So if you rip a tail, you can replace the tail. I've lost my other tail. I don't know what I did with it. Oh, it's right here in my lap. So it comes with an extra tail. So if your tail gets ripped off, you can change it off. But that's cool. That's cool technology. The fact that you can separate the hook away from the body to get rid of the leverage, it's pretty cool. So little spool tech swim bait. Digging it.
You just
And this
wind
is
that
also,
hook. Sorry. You just wind that hook back in there, man, and it just sits back in that body. You're ready to go again. What were you gonna say, Alex? I'm sorry.
this time of year, that profile right there, that size, that 4-inch size is great because that's about the size of the forage and the bait fish that the bass are eating. So just throw this thing out there and just kind of slow roll it back around riprap and big rocks and around laydowns and stuff like that, and you're liable to get it crushed. So great choice again.
Yeah, dude. And I realized after you get it, I mean, after you pull it out, it goes in a lot more easily after you pull that hook out one time.
Oh, does it? I still can't get my hook out. I'm going to pry around on it here while you pull out the next bait.
And this is a 1/2 ounce bait. They call this the silver digger. This silver, I mean, will pretty much work anywhere across the country. I think you got the same color as I did.
Yeah, I did. Got it. I about hooked myself, but I got it.
But yeah, cool little bait. I wanted to try these, just haven't bought one before. And that bait there goes for, that's a $15.99 bait right there. So that's almost a $16 bait. So that in itself almost pays for the box. Let me grab our next bait out of here.
Which makes sense with all that still leader and all that.
Yeah. And I mean, you got to figure, you get your extra tail. I'm sure they sell extra tails on their website. So, I mean, if it means you can catch a lot more fish without losing them on that swim bait. I'll tell you what, I didn't lose a ton of fish on a swim bait, but there were ones that I would lose because they hit their heads and they just come off. I mean, there's nothing you can do when you have them on a swim bait like that.
Yeah, especially big swim baits, they'll whip you, man. That's why you see a lot of people just hammer down on them and reel like they do, and having, you want to have a reel with a lot of torque so you can get them to the boat.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to grab the next bait. It's a bait that I'm sure, well, it's a bait similar to something I'm sure almost everyone watching me has thrown before. And yeah, this is the Pro box. This is the XL box. This is a bait that
So
Okay, can you guys see me again? I don't know what happened there. My internet went down. So I'm hoping you guys can see me again. I hope too many people didn't leave.
Hi.
Okay. Can you hear me, Alex? Can you hear me, man?
Hey guys. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I lost the internet there. So we're good again.
Yeah.
Okay. So this here, KVD one on Cayuga with, it's a 4-inch KVD Ocho. And they have the Strike King coffee scent, which is just a good scent. It helps draw in fish. I think if you use a scent, it helps you put extra fish in the boat.
I think it makes fish hold on to stuff longer. I think if anything tastes more natural to a fish, they're going to hold on to it a little bit longer.
And it tastes pretty good, man.
This right here would be great on those little weedless hooks. Because that little hexagonal, it's got hexagonal sides and it makes it really wobble when it goes down.
Yeah. It'll give it a good shake going through the water column. And that'll go perfect, like Alex said, on that mustad hook that you guys got in the box this month.
Let's rig one up and find out.
Yeah, that's a good point. Do you have your hook out?
I got it right here.
Okay.
There you go. Perfect little. Then you just drop that weed guard on there. Oh, I'll say that. You're cooking. Throw that around boat dock. Right now, a big thing is fish will get up under boat docks. You can skip that up under a boat dock and have all kinds of fun. That little hook will stick them right in the roof of the mouth almost every time. So, fun.
For sure.
It's going to do a lot of that right there.
I want to do something just real quick and post something back up to Instagram. I know some of the people left, so.
Everybody jetted on us.
I know. I want to
How
get this
much
back.
confidence they have in us.
Yeah, they thought we were done.
Yeah.
But let me.
We're never done.
Do this. I'm so bad at this story stuff. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, sorry to anyone who follows me on Snapchat, but I suck at Snapchat.
Yeah, I know. I'm terrible. Problem with Snapchat is that I don't want to burn all my data out.
Yeah.
Kylie says I'm terrible at Snapchat. I am. We had a long streak going, and I blew it.
I don't like taking pictures of myself is the problem.
Oh.
I'll video myself all day long, but I ain't taking a picture of myself.
Okay. So we're back. Alex, you want to go over the next bait?
Yeah. What else is
Go with
yes.
the Riot.
Okay. So the next thing is the Riot Relic. This thing is crazy looking. I pulled it out of the pack earlier, and I really wasn't sure. I thought it was a tube when I first saw it, but it's not. It is a crawl body with a like a soft plastic skirt on the top. So it's all molded into one thing, but you got like these flanged grub-looking legs to this crawl kind of grub-looking body with a like skirt molded into it. So like I was thinking maybe like a jig head, an exposed jig head or something like that, or I mean I think that's what this would be good on. Just run a jig head through that skirt and kind of let that skirt act like a little jig. And it's kind of like a jig without the hook. Just kind of make your own little soft plastic jig.
I like throwing these skirted grubs, especially early in the season before those fish really get on a jig good. You can rig this on like a 1/4 ounce jig head and throw this where you would normally throw a jig. And what that does is it gives those fish a little bit different presentation. This obviously isn't quite as bulky as a jig, and you get these real hard kicks from these paddles down here. So
yeah, I dig it. Little green pumpkin. I got like a green pumpkin chartreuse blue flake, kind of weird color. Kind of like a real light on the bottom and dark on the top with blue flake, which is cool. I like it. I think it's
Yeah,
going to be something interesting.
Mine is one of my favorite colors, and that's green pumpkin with blue flake. No chartreuse in mine. It's just straight green pumpkin, blue flake, and that is one of my favorite colors to throw. Imitates a lot of bluegill. Can also imitate crawfish late in the year when those fish start to molt. So that is a great color.
Yeah.
What we're going to do, we're going to go over this. Sorry.
No, you're good.
We're going to go over this last bait, and then we're going to get into our standard live stream. So,
are they ever standard?
Yeah, are they ever standard? We answer a lot of questions in these live streams. Now, the reason I told Alex to go with the Riot baits before I moved on to this bait was because I saw this in the box, and I knew it was something I wanted to talk to you guys about. And this bait here is the V&M, the Hightail. It's called the Hightail Shad. This is a very unique swim bait, and I'll explain why when I pull it out of the package. Look at the way it's packaged, just for a half second.
Well, I didn't even notice that. I didn't notice. I just noticed what the difference is about this swim bait. So I can't wait to hear what you got to say about it.
Well, so what's unique about this swim bait? A standard swim bait, you rig like this. Okay, you rig paddle down. With this swim bait, your hook slot is on the what would traditionally be the head of the bait, and you rig it upside down. Okay, so you rig the tail up, and what this is going to do, it's actually going to give it a different sort of wobble in the water. Instead of like a traditional wobble where it's real hard tail wobble, it's going to help keep that bait up in the water, and it's going to kind of give it more of a shimmy than that real hard paddle tail. Because what will happen is this paddle will kind of push over, so it'll be a lot tighter wobble. You can really rig it either way depending on your preference, but the way they designed this bait was to rig tail up. It's also it's a very skinny bait.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys look at this bait, it's not like a standard round body swim bait. So when that water gets cold and those fish start feeding on baits that have a little bit tighter profile, a little bit tighter action, you can rig it with that paddle tail up, and this bait's going to have a nice tight wobble in the water. So I'm excited to throw this. I've seen it, but
I dig that. That's cool. I think this would also be great as a target on an Alabama rig. And I'll tell you why. Because when you're throwing an Alabama rig, and this is how I set my Alabama rig up, I always have a bait that is the target. And the target's either going to be bigger, it's going to be a different color, or in this case, it's going to be rigged differently. And it's going to have a totally different swimming action than the rest of the baits. And a lot of time the fish, just because their brains are so simple, they're going to key in on the one thing that's different because it's the easiest for their brain to kind of pick out, and that's the one they're going to eat. So that might be a really good application for that. And fishing it in grass. And keeping it up above the grass, because if it wants to rise, fishing it like kind of submerged grass this time of year can get you some really good reaction bites.
And what else, man? It's going to have that different action too for that target, and those fish might crush it, man.
Oh, yeah.
One thing I noticed in your other video that you just put out, I think, where you were on North, or where were you at this weekend? Cherokee? You were throwing the A-rig?
Yeah, I went Cherokee.
One of the fish you caught, you set the hook, you got him in the boat, and the first thing you said to your dad was, dude, look, he got the target.
Yep.
And I thought that was pretty cool because you look at that bait, it just had a little bit more chartreuse and like a little bluish back on it. Just slightly different than those other baits, but that shows you that those fish really do key in on something, even if it's just real subtle.
Oh, yeah, and I try to keep track of that. That's one of those things. Like, that's why I said that, is because every time I pull one in, I check to see which one they bit, because literally 9 times out of 10 they're going to bite that target. And what I do now is, where used to I'd like paint it up with like a line here and a line here. I'll make a line down the side with the chartreuse marker, and then I'll take my thumb and like smear it in, so it's really kind of a uniform color. and they just crushed that one. It's awesome.
That's pretty sweet, man. I mean, when I saw that video, that was the first thing I thought of when you were fishing that A-rig. I wanted to see if they hit that target or kind of how they were going to eat that bait.
Yep.
And you caught some small, I mean, not that you were catching small fish, but you got some small fish on that A-rig.
Oh, yeah.
I always thought the A-rig to be a big fish bait, but
yeah, I mean, when the big ones are
that was
eating
pretty
it,
cool.
they eat it, but you'll catch a bunch of, I mean, dinks. I've caught literally, I went and fished all day and caught nothing but dinks on an A-rig. You know what I mean? And it's just, they ain't scared.
For real. And one thing about that V&M bait, it retails for $5.69. So, I mean, as always, guys, you get your money's worth in these Lucky Tackle Box. You get, like, as you could tell, we were, both of us, pumped up about all the baits we got this month. So,
I really do
Tackle
get
boxes.
excited about this. I mean, like, it's not just like, oh, I get a cool box, or I get a box for free every month. I really do enjoy this. Like, it's like so much fun. I mean, it's like Christmas. I mean, I got to get jacked up every time my Lucky Tackle Box comes. Because, like, this right here, like this crankbait, like I've said, I've been wanting to buy one, and I just don't, because I don't want to spend the money on something I don't have confidence in, and I go buy confidence baits. Well, this allows me, and even for you guys, you pay $15 a month, and they're going to send you baits like this that you couldn't, you couldn't go buy this box for $15 or $23. I didn't add up the total, which I need to on this box, but I'm sure it's well over $50. And every month it's that way. You couldn't go out and spend $50, go buy $50 worth of this stuff at the store. You're going to go buy stuff you have confidence in. So if you pay, your $15 or your $23 a month to get a box like this, you could get baits like this, which you could start to throw and gain confidence in, and then you might have a cheaper version or a cheaper option when it comes to deep diving crankbaits, or a cheaper option when it comes to Cincos or whatever it may be.
Yeah, and this XL box, it came to $54, so almost $55 in the XL box this month.
Yeah.
And that's just quick rough math, but I mean, for $23, I mean, you can't beat it.
Yeah, you're almost doubling what you're putting in, so really good option in my opinion.
Yeah. And again, guys, here's my number. 09305 is the golden ticket off my card. Keep this number for that live drawing, because if I win, you guys can have my box or whatever prize, and they have multiple prizes.
Right. And guys, make sure you go subscribe to my channel, because tomorrow my unboxing comes out, and you could have a chance to win a free box. So I give away a box every month when I do my Lucky Tackle Box unboxing.
Yeah, and let me give you Alex's link real quick. Alex, you go ahead and talk about kind of whatever is on your mind right now. I'm going to give them your link.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you guys, the next couple weeks, next week is going to be big. There's going to be a bunch of big stuff happening. A lot of you subscribe to my channel, so Walker Wilson, W2 Outdoors, is coming up to fish with me. But while he is here, we're going to be fishing with some pretty big name guys, some local pros, and we're going to be making some videos with those guys if that all gets worked out. And just going to be having some fun. Hopefully the fish will be biting good. The water's been a little wacky the past few weeks. The weather's just won't cool down. Like the weather is cold, but the water is still like 55, and the fish are just they're in that weird in-between stage where they're not really feeding hard because it's cold, but they're kind of still feeding hard. You know what I mean? So really, really weird. Yeah, potholes, banks, things like that. Yeah, it's gonna be huge. A lot of potholes for sure. Little bluegill fishing in a pothole is always fun. Somebody said the $15 box doesn't have the crankbait. I didn't look at the card, but I'm sorry if it doesn't. The XL box is, in my opinion, a little bit better, especially just for the few more dollars that it is. Yeah, I would like if they threw some JDM tackle in there as well. Well, they did last month. We got a Dual Realis spy bait. So that's JDM for sure. That's straight out of Japan.
Well, yeah, and even in the non-LTB box, or the non
hey, we don't talk about the non-LTB boxes on here, okay?
I didn't mean non-LTB. I meant the non-XL box, you still got that, what was it called? The
Mega Strike or
the Monster Bass Slim Jim 110, which is a $16 bait. But
we're probably gonna be fishing with the pro guys. We're probably gonna be fishing either Douglas or Cherokee for Bobby and Josh. Thank you. I'm digging my new lens. It's so much clearer and it sucks in light so much better. Like tomorrow's upload and even today's upload, I put out a swim bait, top 3 swim baits for beginners video, just came out an hour ago. It's so much brighter and like I can get things real close to the camera and it focuses in on them and all that. It's great. I love my new lens.
Yeah, I haven't watched that video, but
I can thank Bethany for that. She got me that professional stuff.
Yeah, and I haven't watched that video, but you and I were talking about it a little bit yesterday. What's really unique about Alex's new video, he goes over the top 3 swim baits for beginners. And what's cool is not only are they baits that are relatively affordable, they are also cover really the top 3 swim bait categories. You have your paddle tail, you have your glide bait, and you have your multi-jointed bait, which really are the 3 main categories of swim baits. I mean, you could throw top water in there, but for the most part, I'm thinking paddle tail, glide, and multi-jointed. So that's why that's a really cool video. I'm excited to actually watch it because I haven't seen it yet.
Yep, and it's affordable and they're fishable. Fishable is the most important thing. Like this year, I'm buying a dedicated swim bait setup because there's some big things coming from Beast Coast. Probably a 4-ounce swim bait coming out. I've got some 4-ounce, 5-ounces in the boat. I'm wanting to start throwing a 10-inch mag draft, which weighs 7 ounces. So I'm going to have to get a setup just dedicated to swim baits. But the baits I pick are anywhere from 1.25 ounces up to 3 ounces. So if you just have a heavy flipping stick, you're good. You know what I mean? You can go out there and toss those baits around. And all the fish I've caught with my mag draft, my Gantarel, and my S-Waver have all been caught on a flipping stick with just a low capacity spool, 7:1 gear ratio. I mean, I threw it on stuff that I had and made it work. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. There was a good question that just came into the chat. How do bass boats handle in waves over 4 feet? If you guys follow my channel, I fish the Great Lakes a lot. First of all, if you don't have to go out in waves over 4 feet, do not go out. Play it safe. A fish is not worth your life. Second of all, I truly believe it's about the driver. You want to learn how to drive in comfortable waves, because once you learn how to ride troughs and figure out how to ride, the crests and the troughs and follow the waves, a 20-foot boat can handle it just as well as a lot of bigger boats if the bigger boat driver doesn't know how to drive it. So what you want to do, and this is a real crash course, I mean, I'm just going to talk you through what I think when I think of big waves. Instead of pointing your nose straight into those waves, if those waves are gappy, yeah, I shouldn't use the word crash. I shouldn't use the word crash. But my recommendation is if the waves are tight together, get on top of them and kind of skip the waves. But 9 out of 10 times when you're talking 4-footers, what you're going to have to do is you're going to come up the wave at like a 45, get on top of it and ride it. And then all you'll do is imagine my hand's the wave. You're going to ride that wave. And when the wave starts to push out from under you, just let your boat slide down into the trough. And you'll follow it at a 45 up onto the next. And you got to kind of do that for half a mile and then zigzag back across the waves the same way. And you have to zigzag. It's something, there are a lot of great YouTube videos out there that'll teach you how to do that. But you have to learn how to drive big waves, especially if you're going to be out in big water. Kentucky Lake can get super nasty. That's a tough one because of how narrow it is. You don't necessarily have that grace to be able to do the tacking, but the Great Lakes, you have the ability to tack. Just play it safe, guys. So
yeah, if you're
you
on
really
a
just gotta
Tennessee River System lake and they're 4-foot waves, just go put the boat on the trailer, because there's no running here, running there. I mean, you go You go a foot outside the buoy. You go you go a foot outside the buoy, and you're in a foot of water. And I
Yep.
mean, you're done. Your transom's tore off and everything's all screwed up, and you're going down the river channel with nothing. And it's just dangerous. So, yeah. Somebody asked me, what are you getting for my swim bait setup? I'm getting a Daiwa. Is it 8? That's it, HT, right?
I think it's a
No,
CX.
Is it CX? It's their 8-foot swim bait rod. It's an 8-foot heavy swim bait rod, and I'm getting a Daiwa Tatula HD for my reel. So.
Yeah. But it's like the $109 rod, I think. $119 rod.
Yeah, $109
it's,
rod, $114 reel. So it's affordable. I mean, for the most part. Because you can get into some serious money. I mean, there's guys out there with $2,000 worth of rod and reel just to throw swim baits. So,
well, that's one thing. I'm talking to Grant Langmore. I don't know if you know who he is. He's that big swim bait guy from Texas.
Oh
he's
yeah,
a kid.
the kid, yeah.
But
yeah,
I'm talking about possibly going down and fishing with him for a day and fishing with Tyler's Reel Fishing maybe sometime in January.
that'd be fun.
So that'd be fun.
Well, I'd like to fish with him. I bet he can. To be so young, he's very, very experienced. Very smart kid.
For sure.
Yeah.
Bobby A asked a good question. What are your thoughts on changing long shank hooks to short shank? On a jerkbait, I prefer long shank hooks. It's all about balance with a jerkbait. You want your jerkbait, the way they come out of the package, especially with Megabass, you get them slightly nose down at about a 45. Okay? And when you change out those hooks, if you change them to a short shank, what'll happen is if you don't balance it correctly, if you don't like upsize to the right hooks, you'll start to get that bait where it sinks fast or it really ends up nose down. So you just got to be careful. But I like going with a standard long shank hook, the same size that comes out of the box, and which is typically a number 6. But I just swap out those hooks if I don't think they're good anymore. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
So long shank hooks, I use them when it's cold. Cold-ish, because 1, the fish's mouth gets harder, and 2, they start swiping at bait. So the more surface area you have, and the more power you have to drive a hook into a fish, the more chance you got of getting them in the boat. The like EWG short shank kind of hooks, I use those in the summer, and this is strange, this is how I do it. So on the front hook of a deep diver, I like a round bend long shank. On the back, I like an EWG. Because when that fish comes up behind that thing and it's got a chance to engulf it, that EWG is going to drive into the hard part of their mouth better, or their gill plate, the inside of their gill plate, the hard part of that, and like the roof of their mouth and stuff like that. And it's going to be able to have more surface area to grab. Whereas if they come from the side and smash it down, a lot of the times you're going to hook them on the outside of the face or something like that. So you want that kind of hook.
And there's a lot of, I don't want to call it controversy. There's a lot of debate on kind of what size and style of hooks to throw. Tactical Bassin made a great video the other year, or I think it was last year, 2 years ago, about EWG versus round bend hooks. I'm a firm believer, anytime those fish might swat at your bait and miss it, throw a round bend. Thing about a round bend is the hooks are pointed straight up. So if that fish slaps it at a hook that's pointed straight up, if that fish slaps at it, has a chance of getting that hook in him. With an EWG where it's kind of bent in, if that fish slaps at it, he can hit the top of the hook and still not get hooked. His face can slide off, his tail or whatever can slide off of that hook, not get hooked. He has to get that bait in his mouth. So a lot of times colder months, I'll throw a round bend hook. Warmer, I will switch up. I shouldn't say I won't ever. I most of the time won't ever switch up to 2 EWG style hooks. I typically always keep one round bend on there because I feel like it gives me an opportunity to catch those fish even if they're slapping at it. An EWG style hook will keep those fish pinned better than a round bend, but the round bend might help me get an extra bite or 2 from a fish that it might not otherwise catch.
I'd agree. Somebody asked about my rods. I no longer work with Bulldog rods. There's just a little disagreement about the the future of my channel and the future of our partnership, and it's in my best interest just to part ways with them. So no big deal. It wasn't like a blowout or a fight or anything. It was just it's part of it. You just kind of say bye sometimes. So I say bye.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's, you know, I'd rather have the option to be able to go out and their options were limited me on what exactly I needed and the things, you know, the equipment I needed. So it was a good thing. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Hook us up with some questions, guys. What do you want to see us talk about? What was I going to say? I thought I had something to talk about.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that HD reel. I think it's a good thing because it's not like Alexa. It's not like huge like Alexa, and but you know, it's that in between. I don't really want a huge reel. I just kind of want a reel that I have enough line capacity, not too much. Because I feel like when I have like Alexa or like a 5500 or 5600, like there's, you know, 150 yards of line that I'm never even using. You know what I mean? That just sits there and rots. So I want to do the HD.
Oh, here's a question for you. What's your thought on backing online? Do you run a backing or like a backer on your rods or your reels?
If I'm throwing braid, I'll do a mono backing so it doesn't slip. Like if you never want to fish straight braid because it'll, like when you set the hook, it'll slip out because the braid slips on the spool. But like everything else, I just go straight to it and just go right on it. That way I can fish it all the way down. You know what I mean? Like I want to try to get the most out of it I can.
See, I always use a backer, except for my flipping setup, like my pitch and skip and flipping setup. I will go straight fluoro, and I do that because I don't fill my spool all the way up. One mistake people make when they're trying to, you know, pitch and skip is they'll fill that spool all the way up like a standard spool, and they'll go to skip, and that line just comes off so fast. And that spool wants to go so fast that they bird's nest and they just hate it. When you don't fill that spool up all the way, if you go like halfway or 3/4, what'll happen is that line will come off slower. Your spool will still move as fast. That line will come off a little bit slower. You won't bird's nest as bad. And that's one thing that helped me skip a lot. But beyond that, I always pretty much use backing. I either like pull it off a rod that the line's gone bad on or whatever.
Yeah, just to save a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't really use, I mean, other than my swim bait reel that I have now and the one I'm going to get, and my deep cranking reel, all my spools are really shallow. So it's not, you know, I got like 150, 200 yards, you know, just enough that it's just normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't really use backing as much, but I understand. I mean, I get what you're saying. That's a good idea.
See, yeah, I mean, and I'm running for the most part, all Lew's BB1 Pros. And it's like that super deep spool. If I were to do that, I'd go through a spool of sunline on one reel.
Yeah, and that's expensive.
Yeah.
Someone said, are there any, sorry, somebody commented on my video and I seen it pop up. I was trying to read it while I was reading the question. Are there any decent 2-piece 7-foot rods? I don't know. I mean, the only 2-piece rods I have are saltwater rods that I use once or twice a year when I go to the beach. Everything else I have is 1-piece. I mean, I'm sure they're great 2-piece rods, but if you're going to buy one, just get you a 1-piece. Unless you have to travel. And
unless you're traveling. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, unless you're traveling. And I had this conversation with Alex when he was with me on my boat this October, Parrot. He said the Whitebird is great, and that's that company's 2-piece rod. It says it's a great rod for people that travel a lot. And the thing about 2-piece rods you have to realize is you're going to lose a little bit of sensitivity because you don't have one solid blank. You have 2 blanks that push together. And you run the risk of having you're casting it and the tip flies off.
And nobody wants that. I mean, I hate when my tip flies off. I mean, it's just, it's never a good thing. So, but anyway. Okay.
Go with the one.
What? Go ahead.
You can go with the 1-piece. Go with the 1-piece.
Yeah, so your tip don't fly off. Ice fishing. Are you going to do any ice fishing? The lakes don't freeze down here, so I have nothing to say about that.
I am, dude. I'm going to do some ice fishing. I actually was talking to Chris earlier on Twitter trying to figure out if there's ice yet. So I hear there's a little bit. I'm going to wait until there's like solid ice, and then I'm going to go out. I want to go out walleye fishing. Those guys go like 6 miles, and like you're fishing for 7-8 pound walleye through a little 8-10 inch hole, and it's fun. So I hope to do something. What's your dream lake?
Dream lake. I want to go to Bullard's Bar in California.
Yep.
And catch those big old spots because they catch them on like 10XDs. I mean, who wouldn't want to catch like a 10-pound spot on a 10XD? That's it. I mean, stick a fork in me. That's where I want to go. I'm done.
Yep.
That's just it. I mean, it's like dream.
Dude,
so
I would either say, and this kind of developed as I started understanding swim baits and stuff, I would either say Clear Lake or Bullard's Bar.
Mm-hmm. I
want to
go to Lady Bird. I want to go to
Lake
Lady
Berryessa.
Bird. Berryessa, yeah.
Lady Bird is actually.
I want to
we're
go
either talking Lady Bird or Sam Rayburn when I go down to Texas.
Dude, see, Sam Rayburn is just. I want to go there too. That's like that sets up right for me. That is my kind of fishing. And then Lady Bird, I just want to go see it. I mean, the place is just gorgeous. I want to go see that clear water. That's just, you know what I mean? So cool.
Yeah. Well, and the cool thing there is I'm trying to plan it in February when those fish are moving up. So, dude, you can see. I mean, this is some giants.
Dude, yeah, that'll be sick. Someone asked best line or best all-around line for clear to slightly stained, fluorocarbon, mono, or braid. I fish copolymer, so none of those. I fish P-line. Crystal P-line is just, you can't beat it.
Now explain to these people, explain to these guys what copolymer is and why you choose it over mono or fluoro.
So copolymer is fluorocarbon and mono mixed. And so what it is a fluorocarbon core with a monofilament, or a monofilament core with a fluorocarbon coating for most of them. Some are backwards, some are made a little bit different. Some are like a literal polymer. It's just a different thing material, but most of them, like the P-line, is a monofilament core with a fluorocarbon coat. And it's just ridiculously strong. I mean, like I don't know how they do it, but P-line, 10-pound P-line is literally breaks it like 15 pounds. 15-pound breaks it like 20, 20 breaks it like 25. I mean, it's just ridiculously strong line. So, and it's kind of got, you know, the best of fluorocarbon and the best of mono. It's the best of both worlds mixed. Yeah.
And here's one of the big things that I've noticed about copolymer. One, it's more invisible than mono. It has, imagine mono and fluoro if they had a baby. Here are my thoughts on fluoro. It's like real sensitive, low stretch, super, super invisible. You have your stretch in mono, which is good, especially one when you're fishing a reaction bait. Also, when you're trying to set the hook on a big jig and you set the hook too hard, because all of us do it, you get that stretch so you don't rip that giant hole in that fish's mouth. And it also, with copolymer, it doesn't sink and it doesn't float. It's like neutrally buoyant. It just kind of chills there.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's the best of both worlds. I mean, it's like like fluoro mono had a baby and the baby was perfect. That's P-line. I mean, so, you know, and like cranking, dude, I mean, there's nothing better than 12-pound P-line for cranking, and there's nothing better than 20-pound P-line for flipping. I mean, this stuff is just awesome. Someone said fluorocarbon or braid for Alabama rigs. I went this past weekend throwing 20-pound P-line with an Alabama rig, and I couldn't straighten out the hooks, and I lost like $50 worth of Alabama rigs. So I go braid just so you can straighten out the hooks and get your Alabama rig back, because you're going to get an Alabama rig stuck. I don't care what anybody says. It's going to get stuck at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ice fishing for panfish. Here's a good question, and it's something that I've done a little bit. You need, in my opinion, I get a 24 to 26 inch ultralight fishing rod. It's an $11 It's an $11. I think it's made by Fishin' HT. It's an open face reel. It's like, imagine a center pin. And what that allows you to do is drop your jig straight down on those fish. If you use a spinning reel, what happens, you get line twists, so your jig doesn't fall straight. And a lot of times if those fish are real finicky, when you're dropping that tiny, tiny tungsten jig down there, it doesn't look natural to those fish. So that's why that almost like a center pin reel works really nice. And then I use 2-pound fluorocarbon, and I think it's a 64th ounce tungsten Wolfram jig. It's made by Sitka, I believe. So that's what I would get. 2-pound test, ultralight 26-inch rod with a, I don't know what it's called. It's like a center pin. If you go into a tackle store, they'll tell you they'll have those reels. Especially if you check out Frank's Great Outdoors, they have ungodly amounts of ice fishing tackles. So peel and drag. What's up, Josh, man? Yeah, so we got a ton of snow. So what happens when you get that snow? And this is why you got to be real careful when you're going out ice fishing. That snow will insulate the heat. It'll keep that ice a lot warmer than it would if you just had straight ice and no snow on top of it. So you got to either use a spud, which is basically a spear out in front of you to feel for soft spots in the ice. And just be real careful. Wear your ice picks in case you go through, you're able to climb out. That's really critical. Be safe, guys. If you no fish is worth losing your life when you're falling through the ice or something stupid. So be safe if you're going out ice fishing.
That just doesn't sound fun to me. Anywhere where I have to worry about wearing things on my shoes to get out of the ice if I fall through. I'll be here in Tennessee where that doesn't happen. I'll sit next to my warm fire.
Yeah. What does P-Line say on the box? This is CXX, right? Or is it CXX?
Yeah, there's P-Line CX, P-Line CXX, P-Line fluorocarbon, P-Line braid, but I use P-Line CXX crystal or PXX CXX green. CXX. It's the C with the 2 X's. Either color will work. CXX.
X.
X.
Yeah.
Right.
Is that is that Bethany laughing in the background?
Yeah, it is. She's laying right here.
That's funny.
I get going sometimes. Brain starts working faster than my mouth does.
Yeah, be careful around the shore. You'll get a lot of real soft ice right around the shore too.
It just amazes me. I'd like to just see that. A frozen lake. This doesn't happen here. Like, pockets will freeze, but that's it.
I mean, we've had so much ice that you have to have extenders to get your auger through. So a 36-inch auger, you got to have a foot extender because the ice is so thick.
God.
Yeah.
That's like the kind of thing, I mean, you like fall in that and you don't come back. I mean, like you're dead.
Oh, you'd
like,
be done. You'd be toast.
Yeah.
I don't care if you have an ice pick. If you're 4 foot under ice, I pray.
It's like nightmare, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, Shimano DC7. What rod should you put it on? You have $200. Is it a? Here's a question for you. Is it what are you trying to fish with it? Just an all-around good rod? Because for an all-around good bait casting rod, I would put it with a 7-foot medium heavy. That would be my go-to bait caster if I had one bait caster. 7-foot or a 7'3" medium heavy.
Yes. I'm listening. I'm just texting Walker back. He's stoked. He got a new drone. He got his drone. Well, he broke his other one. He finally got him another one. So he's all excited to fly it in Tennessee. I'm excited for him.
That'd be fun. Did you get a Mavic?
No, he got a big one. He got a normal one. A Pro or
Nice.
whatever. I think it's a 4 Pro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we drive trucks on the ice sometimes.
Yeah, no. See, that freaks me out too. I watched the Dirty Jobs where they got the guy's truck back, whose truck fell through the ice. Did you ever watch that? And they took these like chainsaws with ridiculously long blades and like cut through the ice and like micro like went to the bottom and like hooked chains around the truck and they drug it back out of the ice and like yeah, it was crazy.
Dude, I was watching a thing on the news the other day. Michigan is the first state to pass oh my gosh, what is it called? First state to pass automated driving, like automated cars that will drive without a driver. And they've
like
gone
Tesla.
so far. Yeah, like Tesla.
Yeah.
They've gone so far as to test cars that don't have a steering wheel and don't have pedals.
Nope.
Could you imagine being in that car?
Rise of the Machines. Skytech.
Yeah.
You ever seen Terminator? Yep, it's coming.
I remember, what is that? What was that? Shia LaBeouf.
iRobot.
iRobot.
Yeah. With Will Smith with the self-driving Audi. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my movie, dude. Yeah.
I did listen to you, girlfriend.
I seen that Instagram. Was that Kylie? Yeah, that sent me an Instagram or follow me on Instagram just now.
Yeah. You just followed him on Instagram? Yeah. She did.
Yeah, I saw that with her horse. I see her horse. Is that her horse or someone else's horse?
Yeah, it's her horse. She's a great horse rider.
That's cool. I don't like horses, but that's cool. Horses scare me.
Dude, I'm so bad at horse riding, it is not even funny.
They're like a car with a brain.
Yeah, and her horse really has a brain. Her horse is like,
dude, it's like a car with a brain. You know who hated horses? Henry Ford. That's why he created a car. So we would never have to ride horses again.
Yeah, Alex says, you know who hated horses? Henry Ford. That's why we have cars.
Oh, I'm sorry. I need to shut up. Horses. Yeah. Okay.
Lake Winnipesaukee. They have airports on the ice. Woo.
Well, first of all, I don't think Winnipesaukee a real place, but okay. No, that's crazy though. That sounds nuts.
Yeah, Chris, I saw your post, man. Going to catch some huge perch on Gogebic. That's in Canada, right? Or is that in Wisconsin? Where's that at? I always hear people talking about going there to ice fish.
Gogebic.
Also, Simcoe people go to. But okay, Matt, I saw your message. No, he's not. Well, maybe he is. Maybe he is. I think he is. Matt Springer, you know what I'm.
If not, he's got a credit card that's maxed out because that old boy uses nothing but Megabass.
Yep.
A lot of money.
Yep.
You know what I want to go do? Like Dream Lake kind of thing, speaking of, is go like down to South America and catch those arapaima. Those big things that are like prehistoric dinosaur looking fish. Yeah, I want to catch one of those.
Never heard of him.
You never heard of an arapaima? Google it, dude. It's crazy. One almost killed the river monsters guy. It like jumped out of the water and hit him in the chest and broke his sternum and almost killed him. Like the dang on things are just ridiculous.
Yeah, that would be silly. I don't like fish with teeth.
Well, you know what it's like to tangle with a muskie. Them things ain't fun.
Yeah, got two this year.
First one I ever caught, it looked like I got in a fight with a meat grinder when it was over.
Yeah, well, you stuck your hand in its gills.
I had no idea. How am I supposed to know? I never caught anything like that. I thought, well, I'll just ram my hand up in his gills, no big deal, and he sliced me open.
And those rakers in there.
You know those little things that I catch that I caught at the beach as ladyfish?
Yeah.
They're in my video. They have rakers like that. They have like a blade. And it's like right at their gill plate, and it's like as sharp as a razor blade. I had no idea. I was just holding one. I was holding one like a smallmouth. Like, you know, like a smallmouth mouth's kind of small. So you kind of like wrap your hand up and really hold on to him. So I'm like holding him like this, and his gill's like laying on me, and he decides to kick, and I'm talking just right to the bone almost.
Oh.
Yeah, it was not fun.
I can't deal with that. Oh, by the way,
What?
yeah, Kobe is like a standard discount.
Standard discount. Well, I would take a standard discount because
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Then everything will be regular price.
Yeah, it won't be break the bank price. I love Megabass stuff. It's great.
They make
All
great,
of it's great.
great stuff.
I mean, the mag drafts are phenomenal. My iSlide is phenomenal. I love it. It's all quality. It's just so expensive. So expensive.
Yeah. Hey, this guy Clark, if you're still on here, Clark, you mentioned a website last week. It was Japan
Lure
Pro
Shop.
Tackle, Japan Lure Shop.
Yeah,
Have you
I
looked
get
at
on
it?
there all the time. Yeah, it's cheaper. You can get stuff
It's like
a lot cheaper.
$16 for a Megabass 110.
Yeah, and you can get mag drafts, 8-inch and 10-inch mag drafts. You can get a 10-inch mag draft for like $35, which is not bad. Yeah, I dig that. I've ordered some stuff from them. They're good. They ship fast. They're no like they won't screw you over or anything.
That's sweet.
Matt, no, I don't think it has teeth either. That Arapaima thing don't have teeth. It's just big and mean and red and gray. We're like 300 pounds, or like 6 feet long. Break sternums all day long. Yeah,
Okay,
Vision 110.
We'll go for another 5 minutes. We'll take it to 8:30 Eastern time.
It's a good hook. It's a really good hook.
Dude, I was shocked. Those monster bass hooks, those were sharp.
Yeah, dude. That's one thing that I love, quality hooks. Like the Arashi series by Rapala, I love them because they come with mustads. You just get them out of the box and you fish them. You don't have to worry about them. And they've started putting mustads on bandits now too. So you can just get them out of the box and go.
So that's pretty cool. I talked to Casey from Sixth Sense about that, kind of what hooks he uses.
Mm-hmm.
One of his big things was that he could invest in extra hooks, but then he'd have to pass the cost along to the customer, first of all. And second of all, a lot of people automatically assume without looking into the baits what kind of hooks they have on them. So you'll switch out good hooks even if he put them on there. So I thought that was an interesting concept. So he puts, I think they're just standard VMC hooks on there.
But, that's still, it's still a good hook. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I fish most of my baits out of the package with standard hooks, unless I'm really having issues with it.
I do too. I'm not one of those guys that like gets them and goes and buys owners and owner split rings and like totally. And two, it's because I might catch a 7-pounder every now and again. It's not like I have to worry about 10-pounders crushing my stuff all the time. It's not like I live on the Delta. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't have the chance. You know what I mean? So now you, on the other hand, with your big, massive football mutant smallmouth that you have, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, but I set the hook like I'm freaking setting the hook into a tree. So
I do the same thing. Don't worry.
If I can't get a hook through that fish's mouth, then it wasn't meant to be.
Worst I've ever hooked myself. When I was a child, I stepped on I think it was like a DT22 or like a Hot Lips or something, and ran it all the way up past the barb into my foot. And that's the worst I've ever hooked myself. Knock on wood, I've not hooked myself since then bad.
I'm not even going to talk about it because it hasn't happened yet, so I'm knocking on wood as much as I can. That is my biggest fear. So.
It hurts. There's nothing like that feeling of like something being pulled out. Oh, God. It hurts so bad. Oh, that's just the worst.
Okay, we'll go 2 questions, and then we'll call it a night, you guys.
2.
Dos
Equis.
Dos Equis. Here's an update for you guys. If you haven't If you haven't figured it out yet, I won't have a live. I'll have a live stream this upcoming Sunday. I will not have a live stream the 25th. That's Christmas. Then I will not have a live stream 2 weeks from now because that is New Year's Day. So just stay tuned. I might, but more than likely I will not have a live stream on New Year's Day.
Next Sunday, Walker will be here, so we'll live stream. Is that good?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be
so
sweet.
We'll do that. We'll have fun. Because we don't got nothing to do that day anyway. He gets here at like 10:30 in the morning, and we're just going to come hang out at the house and get everything ready. Because we're supposed to meet those guys on that Monday, so I just want to kind of have everything ready to go. So we're just hanging out that day, so that'll be good.
So give us your quick agenda.
The agenda? Okay. Sunday, Walker gets here. We hang out, get everything ready for Monday. Monday, we're supposed to, the details are not set yet, go meet with the pros. The email that I got said fish 2 to 3 hours and do like a 2 to 3 hour Connect Scale tournament. That's who's kind of sponsoring this whole shindig. Do a 2 to 3 hour Connect Scale tournament. After that, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I just kind of playing that by ear. If they can only fish that long, it'll probably be like, call Dad and get him to pull the boat up to wherever we're at and fish for the rest of the day because, Walker doesn't have much time. Tuesday, fish all day with Walker at either Cherokee or whatever lake we find fish on because the pros will probably put us on fish, and I'm not afraid to go fish their spot. And then Wednesday, it's go put Walker on a plane and send him back to where he goes. And so that's it.
That'll be fun, man. That's super exciting.
Yeah, I'm jacked up. So's Walker. It's gonna be great. He's got his drone fixed. It's just gonna be cool. I mean, even if we don't catch fish, we're gonna just have a freaking blast just hanging out. So
yeah,
that's what it's all about. So much fun.
Yeah. Okay, Peric's hooking his finger, man.
Yeah,
I couldn't even look at it, dude. When the whole video that it happened, anytime he would pick up a hook, I was thinking to myself, "Oh God, don't look." Especially because in the comment section he wrote, especially at the comment section where he wrote that the cameraman did it to him. I was anytime he touched a hook, I was very nervous.
Yeah, that thing, man, and those big hooks like that. I mean, you can't just like clip them bad boys off and like run it back out of your finger and be done. I mean, that's like, and when he bent the barb down on it, and I was just like, he didn't really just bend the barb down. He's about to pull that thing out of his finger. And sure enough, that's what he did. I've jerked him out of Dad like that before. My dad caught about a 3-pound smallie, and he was holding him, and the smallie kicked and drove the treble into his hand. And it was one of those things. It was like he said, what would I have done if you hadn't have been here? I was like, you probably had to kill the fish because the fish wasn't. I mean, it was like fall time. The water was kind of cool. So you know how those smallies get, man. They're just so aggressive and strong when they're cool like that. And so we get the fish unhooked, and it was one of those things. He had that treble drive down in his hand. I said, "All right, on 3, ready, 1." He just jerked it right out, man. And it was, I mean, it's just, there's nothing worse than being hooked like that, man.
That's gross.
Yeah. Oh.
Last question. What temp in the spring do you think smallmouth will start like feeding up or really getting crazy? Me going out and fishing for smallmouth, I fish as soon as I get no ice. But I mean, what time do you think they really start getting ready to pre-spawn and go out and look for big meals?
Yours probably a little bit different than mine. I would say maybe because it's weird. Let me explain this. So first, our smallmouth spawn, because obviously the smallmouth can spawn in a little bit deeper water and a little bit cooler water than a largemouth can.
Yeah.
So from like the beginning of March, all through March, we catch them really, really good, and they're not spawning then. You know what I mean? They're feeding up to spawn. Towards the end of March, the beginning of April, they really start to do the business. You know what I mean? And then like there's like a week and a half down period, and then the largemouth start to spawn too. So, but it's hard to like say, it's hard to pinpoint exactly when my smallmouth spawn, just because it's just weird. You know what I mean? They're just different.
Even like pre-spawn, when were you catching those fish on that mega bass?
That was May, probably.
That was after they spawned. That was post-spawn, right?
Yeah, that was, well,
Like shad spawn.
yeah, it was different this year because the shad spawned right when the bass spawned. They spawned at the same time because we had like a full moon, and for like 2 weeks there was bass spawning, shad spawning. They were moving up to spawn, moving off the bed. They were on the bed. It was just, they were everywhere. It was a really special time.
Yeah, that was a pretty sick video.
I caught those fish. Let's see here. That was May 7th was the mega bass fish. The big smallies. So the smallies spawn like April 30th. I caught spawning smallies. April 17th, I was catching some pre-spawn largemouth. But right here, March 19th was pre-spawn largemouth for me on a Alabama rig. So
That's
from
pretty
March,
sick.
yeah, March through April is kind of pre-spawn spawn for smallmouth, and then April to May is pre-spawn spawn for largemouth around here. All depending on the water temperature too. I mean, because like this year, I mean, it was 70 degrees until like 2 weeks ago. So
That's sick.
yeah, it's fun. It's for sure fun.
Yeah, I mean, up here, dude, we can really, those smallmouths start eating around like 48 degrees is when they really start chomping pretty good. Then they'll start spawning like 57, 58 degrees. Once you get in that temp, you know, like late May, they'll start spawning on the bay, like Saginaw Bay, Lake Huron. You'll get them spawning on the Great Lakes, and then they'll spawn inland. But obviously, it just follows water temp. So anytime between 48 and like 58 is when those fish are super, super aggressive and pre-spawn. And then 58 to about 62, they're going to be on beds. I mean, obviously a little bit after that, and then after that it goes to post-spawn, and you get to follow them out to the deep water. So
see, that's what I'm waiting for. Not for spawn temperature, but for the water to dip below 50, because then the smallmouth will just go to whack town on a jerkbait. And see, right now it won't get below 55. I mean, like it is 55, 53, and it just will not drop off. I don't know if it's just where it's not been cool long enough or what it is. And when it rains, it's like warm rain. It's not cool rain. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, but as soon as it gets like 48, like 48 to 45, oh my God, you can throw a jerkbait and just wear out smallmouth.
See, for us, that bite really, really got good at like 54 degrees. Just under 55 degrees is when that bite went really crazy for me this year. All the way down, I mean, I had some boat troubles, but all the way down to about 48 degrees again, and then they get a little bit tougher to catch. I know Chris and $3 Fish, those guys were catching them, I think, last weekend, 2 weekends ago. So water temp is 38 degrees. But those are special fish. I mean, those fish are pushed up into that river, and so.
Yeah, and fish will eat. I mean, they may be very, very lethargic, but smallmouth in particular, they, in my experience around here, I think it's just because they have to deal with 90-degree water temperatures. They love, I mean, cold water is just, they thrive in it. That's when they do their best. So, but I mean, does your water ever get to 90 degrees?
No, we'll be lucky if it gets like mid-80.
Yeah,
it won't ever get to mid-80. It will never get to mid-80. I mean, we have 3 days around 90 degrees a year.
Yeah, see.
So.
See, ours, I've caught fish, and it, you know, the graphs say it's 90 degrees, 91 degree surface temperature water. So. But, well, I'm going to go get me a glass of orange juice and sit here and watch, let's see, the Holiday Baking Championship Kids Edition on Food Network. So.
I was watching this one where they were decorating the houses. It was like house decorating Christmas challenge, and these people just had these unbelievable decorations on their house. But anyways, guys, we're going to call this a wrap. Thank you, my buddy Alex, for joining us. As always, it was a ton of fun. You guys are going to be on Sunday night?
Yeah, we'll be here. The show.
Chris King on here as well with us. And we'll just do some talking about fishing or whatever. But thanks for joining us, man. If you guys haven't yet, go check out his channel. Alex is someone that's really supported me from the very beginning with my channel, so I appreciate that a ton, man. He's a great dude. So
Thanks, buddy. I'll see you later.
thank you. See you later. And as always, guys, take care. Tight lines. God bless.